As the United States moved into the later part of the 20th century, the country was facing many domestic issues. A domestic issue is anything that concerns a country's internal affairs, operations. Tax rates, road construction, and political elections are all examples of domestic issues that most nations face. In the 1970s, Americans were still concerned with the effects of the US involvement in the Vietnam War. Troops had been withdrawn in 1973, but many people were upset that the US was a part of the Asian conflict. Americans were also still working to protect people's civil rights. In addition to these issues, there was a gas and oil shortage in the country. In 1974, President Richard Nixon quit his job as president after some of his close supporters broke into the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee. They were hoping to find information that might help President Nixon be reelected. The president did not tell the truth about what had happened. Many people wanted the Senate to impeach President Nixon or charge him with misconduct while he was in office. Nixon stepped down before he was placed on trial and removed from office if found guilty. Despite the problems at home at the time, the US continued to grow as an international superpower. As a superpower, the country had the ability to influence many world events during this same time. After World War II, the US and the Soviet Union both became known as superpowers. The two countries had great military, economic, political, and cultural power throughout the world. Sometimes the two superpowers agreed with one another, but more often the two countries disagreed on how world governments should run. Both countries supported many other nations around the world. They also kept a close watch on one another. They built up their supplies of nuclear weapons as protection. These weapons could release huge amounts of deadly energy and radiation if ever used. In the late 20th century, the Soviet Union fell apart. Today, other nations are growing in power and military strength. However, the United States of America continues to work to help solve both domestic and international problems. We work to strengthen our standing as a great superpower in the world and our relationships with countries around the globe.